Hello, my friends. I hope you are doing well. If this is the first time you watch my video, just so you know, this is a channel about philosophy and life, and I'm always actively communicating with different friends about their life, about their experience and thoughts. You are always welcome to leave comments and subscribe my channel. Please give me a chance. I know that my English is not that good, but I'm trying my best to express here. And also, I'm doing the summary series now. So even if you never watched any videos before, you will be able to understand what this episode is about. As a matter of fact, nowadays we're so busy. Busy at work, busy at earning money and taking care of our family, about all sorts of duties and pressure. So it seems like we just leave those ultimate questions to those professionals, like scientists or philosophers. And if they say they've proven it by logic or evidence, this way, this way, this way, so we just take it. We just accept it. But I do believe deep inside, we do want to dive deeper about this question, and we want to find out the answer by ourselves as well. Deep inside, what we want is not just information. We want meaning. We want to know what our life is about. What is our existence is about? Is there meaning of our existence? It's just so many times that, especially in modern world, we don't really have much luxury to have a peace of mind to think about this, to think this over. So, and also there are a lot of people criticizing. Why do you waste so much time to think about this thing at all? Just live in the present, that's all. But in fact, our ancestor is already thinking about this thing for thousands of years. And it's the ability of reflection, the ability of awareness. Let us have the free will. Let us build civilization. To let us have the ability to know what is right thing to do, what is wrong thing to do. So if we take the stance of relativism, then we might still not much differences to animal. I'm not criticizing animals, of course, because I love animal. Myself is a vegetarian. But I do want to say there is a distinction between our human level of free will and animal free will. I wouldn't be able to tell how much free will an animal has because their life, they will just completely live in the present, eat, sleep, and drink. And it seems like they don't even have any worries about the future. Only if something happened and they immediately they will have just like reflect of their natural survival instinct, but they wouldn't ever thinking about the future at all. So I do think this is one of the important and precious ability of human being. We have free will. We can reflect. We can think about what is this all about. So now let's delve deeper into the understanding of beginninglessness. Beginninglessness in ancient Sanskrit is Anādi, and a lot of people believe that the concept, the understanding of beginninglessness is from Buddhism. But in fact, this insight emerged long before that, also in ancient India. About 3,000 years ago, Rig Veda. I did make another episode to discuss what is Veda is about. If you're interested, please have a look. So in Rig Veda, there is a very beautiful poetry with deep philosophical meaning. It's named Nasadiya Sukta. And this sukta directly challenged the understanding, the concept of beginning. If you don't believe, please hear this out. Then there was neither non-existence nor existence. There was no realm of air, nor the sky beyond it. What covered it? Where? In whose protection? It doesn't even try to give a starting point of the universe. In the opposite, it debunked the dualistic understanding of existence and non-existence. Therefore, the question of begin from where itself become an error. And more interestingly, later on it says that who truly knows? Who can declare it? Perhaps even the highest overseer does not know. This is not ignorance, but a very deep insight. It means that maybe the question of beginning itself is the wrong question. Later on, in Mandaka Upanishad, this thought gets developed even further. It's not describing a moment that this universe is created, but it emphasizes that everything is manifested from Brahman. And this manifestation itself is not a one-time creation, but a continuous, self-revealed expression. So, existence is not something being created at a specific time. It's not like that. Existence is just manifesting itself in different conditions and different relationships. That's all. And don't forget, this understanding emerged 700 to 1000 years before Buddhism. And even though they have almost 1000-year differences, interestingly, this sukta already point out that we shouldn't consider existence and non-existence in such a dualistic way. And this thought inspired Buddhism, especially the middle way, Nagarjuna. Just by this, you can see along the history how much Buddhism and Hinduism influence each other and inspire each other. And this is a fact. And now let's talk about Buddhism. So the same insight was expressed in different way, just different language, but is the same, which is called dependent origination. And this is the one that most people might be familiar with, because this is the main teaching about Buddhism, one of it. So Buddhism doesn't emphasize an absolute beginning point, a starting point, but says that everything is just manifesting. When the condition is ready and it manifests, when the condition is gone, it will just be unmanifested. That means that there is nothing exists independently. Everything exists in condition, in relationship. So this is again another explanation for the understanding of Anadi, of the understanding of beginninglessness. Because if everything is just interdependent, then there is no such thing as the first cause. Therefore, existence is not start from a starting point, but is more like a web of relationship without center. It's more like a field. And this understanding later on inspired Western philosophy. For example, Martin Heidegger, he made a distinction between being and beings. He pointed out that we generally put so much emphasis on beings, our objective existence, but we forget about the existence itself, the being itself. And this distinction is very, very similar to the understanding of shunyata in Buddhism. And now let's talk about Daoism. So Daoism also uses another language to express the same insight. In Dao De Jing, Laozi said that the Tao gives birth to one, one gives birth to two, two gives birth to three, three gives birth to all things. So the concept of Tao is very similar to the concept of Rita in ancient India. I did make another episode about what is Rita is about as well. If you are interested, please have a look. But to be honest, I believe that the understanding of Tao is more close to Anadi compared to Rita. Here, when we say Tao gives birth to one, to two, to three, this birth is not a starting point in time, but it means it's a continuous flowing and manifestation. So Tao is not a starting point. It is without shape, without form, no beginning, no end, but is everywhere, pervade everything. So it is not something that you can completely take it out from the reality, become like something in another shore. It was never like that. So Taoism is a true non-duality understanding as well. So in this sense, everything are not created, but naturally manifesting in the flowing of Tao. Interestingly, Buddha and Laozi, they live almost in the same time. It's just one in China, another in India. somehow they still have such a strong connection and resonance. So we don't really know that maybe they influence each other or inspire each other. I don't know if Laozi read Veda or Rig Veda, but it's just that interesting. So now, who do you believe? Who is the starting point of this thought then? And we are not even finished yet. Later on, Vedanta says that the universe and ignorance are beginningless. It's just almost identical to Buddhism says that samsara is beginningless. And even Samkhya says that Purusha and Prakriti are beginningless. I did another video that explained what's the differences between their philosophical stance. So some of them are monism, some of them are dualism, some of them are non-dualism. But no matter what they say, no matter they say the origin is one or two or shunyata, essentially they all agree on one thing, that this existence itself is beginningless. And I always find it a little bit funny because we are right now talking about beginninglessness. But even though a lot of people, they are already trying to find the beginning of this thought. Oh, this thought is originated from Buddhism, it's from Veda, it's Hinduism, it's from Daoism. And this is how we get used to this kind of thought. The linear thinking, we just want to persist the starting point. It's kind of like taking the copyright or something like that. And I just found it a little bit funny. Because in fact, if we think about it, if the existence itself is just beginningless manifestation, so how are you really sure that only this planet have life, right? So okay, it's a bit crazy topic, but imagine if existence is beginningless, so that means also other places, other planets, when the condition is ready, then they will manifest life, right? So if they are also have the history of life, then they will also have very intelligent creatures. And maybe they also figured it out about this beginningless understanding. And also, even we just back to the earth, we only talk about Veda itself. The Veda is just the beginning that people start to write it down about what people said. Before that, people just talk with each other, just by talking to teaching each other, to inspire each other to share the thought. So how can you know when they actually started to have the thought or understanding about beginninglessness? You see, so you cannot really claim the beginning of this thought. It's impossible because it's just right about what we're talking about. It's beginningless. So, and to me, I believe that all of this tendency is like a circle. It's like a circle of tendencies. It's like the natural rhythm. It's like day and night, like 4 seasons and everything. When the condition is ready, something seemingly emerge. When the condition is gone, it's seemingly dissolute. So it's also like life and death and our thoughts as well. So it's just instead, I don't understand these two things. They are like fighting each other without peace, suffering forever. No, I don't think that. I would rather to consider them in a positive way, which they are just an inner balance. This is the spirit of Daoism. So when we try to understand this cycle, if we use the language of science, then it's more like Roger Penrose, Conformal Cyclic Cosmology. And if we use the language of religion or spirituality or even philosophy, then it's really related to Hindu. And they have like 3 gods. One is for creation, another one is maintaining, another one is destruction. And this is like an endless cycle. Or like Taoism, we say that yin and yang, they are always coherence. And I do believe there are other culture, other philosophical system, and other universe as well. They already figured out the understanding of cyclic existence. So yeah, so I really hope that we stop claiming which one is the beginning of this thought. Otherwise, I feel like I'm wasted my all time to discuss all the thing earlier. Well, but I do believe that there is a certain pattern for this rhythm, for this cycle. Like, first of all, for example, we suggest this is so-called starting point, which is we believe in a beginning, a starting point, and believe in a creator. And then we go to analyzing, go to reflect, and we find this just cannot stand itself because it's full of contradiction. And then we get to the conclusion of beginninglessness. But then there is also social impact because, you know, sometimes for a lot of people, if we felt like, okay, there is no meaning, there is no point, then we might just go to nihilism and relativism for morality, relativism for right and wrong, everything. Because even if everything is manifestation, I do something stupid, I do something bad, hurt somebody else is also a manifestation. People could think in that way, and that is really dangerous because this is not how it's supposed to be. So then people go to a stage that trying to fight the order again because it's chaotic already, trying to fight order, trying to fight most of the time faith. I'm not saying like something like force you to do, like our legal system, because our law and legal system force you to not do something. That's a different story. If you remove the law, and then you will find so-called, all the darkness of humanity. But when people have faith, generally, that's a very powerful, a strong power within your heart to do something, to do some good thing. At least this is what happened in reality, is that a lot of believer, they also have a strong sense that there is a meaning of life, there is meaning of existence. And even this belief, no matter is religious belief or spiritual belief, you have something to believe in, then you will find it can defeat the feeling of nihilism. And then because of this, a lot of people back to belief, which is the creator and starting point. So this is just the circle, the cycle. So at least this is just my theory, like why we go to this pattern again and again and again. So I don't know if in another planet or other planets do other intelligent beings also been through the same cycle, but it's possible, right? And so far we can see that in the long river of history, no matter is ancient India, Veda, Upanishad, or Buddhism, or Daoism, or Western philosophy, no matter which one we mentioned here, they just use different language, different pattern and structure, and they are all experience this cycle what I just explained there. And this cycle, there is not a beginning in one point. It's just the natural rhythm. So what we really need to let go, I believe, is not a specific understanding, but a real strong attachment that who is the first one bring out this understanding? Who is the one who create this understanding? Because language and words itself is also just a part of manifestation. In different condition, they manifest. In different culture, they manifest. They're just like wave, keep manifesting. How can you find a starting point for wave? Is impossible. When the condition is ready, thoughts will manifest. And I know that sometimes we get so stubborn on this because people will say that, for example, who create the whiteboard, then who is the one who created? And this one deserves the copyright because this is something he created. Because before him, there is no such thing as whiteboard. And I'm never denying the beauty and importance of creativity. Because me, myself, I would consider I'm quite creative, and I love art. So I know that how much it means to, to be a creative person is beautiful. But also, I don't understand the manifestation as something I own. It's just flowing. It's endless flowing, and I just at a point that I let it flow through me. That's all. So I don't own this idea. I don't own this insight. I just let it flow through me, let it express through me. That's how it's supposed to be. Just think about it. No matter how unique the idea you think you have or inspiration you have, do you think these things can exist isolated, just alone in this planet? It's impossible. Because our thought, our inspiration is always influenced by the history, by the environment, or by our connection with ourselves. It's impossible when we just want to isolate everything around us and isolate everything that supports us through all the time, silently, quietly. And if we are not standing on the shoulder of those giants in history, can we really look further? It's impossible. So there is no starting point. There is no starting point. It doesn't belong to you. It doesn't belong to me. There is no starting point of all of this. It's just when condition really manifests. That's all. As simple as that. Including our thought, including our life. So eventually, what understanding of beginninglessness really teach us is let go of this ego. Let go of this ego that we want to persist the starting point, want to claim that, oh, I started this. I'm proud of it because I'm the one who created this. Nobody ever think of it before. Nobody ever did this before. So modesty is really important. It teaches us to appreciate the connection truly, to appreciate the people, the things, everything around us which connect to us. So this is actually the bridge leading us to rebuild the connection with other people, with the world, and with ourselves. This is how important to understand beginninglessness. If you understand beginninglessness, you wouldn't really be afraid to start to do something. I'm an example. You know my English is not perfect, but I was not afraid to speak like this, even with error with grammar and limitation of vocabulary. But I'm not afraid because I know that I didn't really start it. That this passion with this channel, this passion to share was always flowing inside of me. So I don't need a starting point. I just let it flow through me. But it doesn't mean like I would just forget about all the morality, all the principles to do something to hurt other people. It's not like that. If you know me enough, you will know that I have a lot of boundaries and the line that cannot cross. Because I'm also a person with deep sense of morality as well. So don't worry about that. So there are so many things I'd love to share with relational non-duality. Well, this is just another name to say the same thing. And I don't care. I don't need to claim the starting point of anything. Nobody can anyway. And I really appreciate that you can alongside me to accompany me on this journey. It's so important. Your encouragement means a lot to me because we are all existence in relationship. And I never doubt that. If there is no audience, I'm just talking to myself, it would be pointless. If there is no communication, there is no resonance. Thank you, my friend, to hear me out. And if you like me, like my channel, please subscribe. And always leave your comment, share with me your thoughts, your ideas, your feelings. I will always very passionately reply to you. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.